What is up, legends? We are back in HypeWatch. All right, so another week, another HypeWatch. We're back in here, and we got a bunch of good stuff to talk about this week. Some unfortunate stuff, but no, a lot of good hype. So if you're new to HypeWatch, what I do every week, pretty much on Friday, but you see it on Sunday, is we talk about the hype and good games that are going to be coming. So the first game that we have off the bat is Morbid Lords of Ire. This is a Souls-like type of game. It is actually going to be out by the time you see this video because it's coming out on Friday, and it's literally Friday morning right now while I'm actually doing this video. See, 7 hours from now. And I was actually invited to come and play this game. When I find time, I just might hop into it and give it a run because I like Souls-like games and I like the whole Bloodborne type of feel. That's what this feels like basically right now. And we had Liza P recently that came out that everybody loves, Liza P, and it was like a game of the year type of affair, and then this could end up like that too. It feels like the gameplay is going to be around that, and then you have like a gun in this too, so it's very much Bloodborne. So yeah. So next up we have Wayfinder, and the reason why we're talking about Wayfinder, this is a game that's already out. However, this game is going from free to play to a buy to play game, which is interesting. And what they're doing is getting rid of all of the, as you can say, like the predatory type of stuff to it. Everything is basically going to be in the price of the actual game. And if you have the game already, you get all the stuff directly. As you can see, one price, no microtransactions and stuff like that. That's actually really good on them that they're doing that. It might revitalize the game. It's going to go to a single player type of feel where you can have co-op and you can jump in kind of the same way that it feels right now. So we'll see how that goes because not many game companies do this sort of thing. It's good on them for trying to do that because they're just trying to get rid of all the predatory stuff that was actually in the game. So I have no problem with it. I know some people are like, why are you doing that? But I'm gonna let them cook and see what happens. Next up, we have Riftstorm, which ironically this could be like the hype of the week right here because this was a really fun game. I tested it. I was actually invited to come into the content creator program and check the game out that way as well. This was a lot of fun. It's a roguelike type of game. What you see kind of like Smash TV co-op gameplay where it's definitely gonna end up fun when you start playing with people and start running around doing your thing and everything. And so I'm like definitely keeping my eye on it, and I'm probably gonna come in on the content creator program and play it and give it a run and have some fun with it. Other creators who watch this, if you want to jump in, literally have the content creator program tab up here if you want to join in on that as well. This is most likely going to be one of those sleeper hit type of games. I like to show you stuff like that and look for it. Next up is Cookie Run Tower Adventure is now officially up for pre-registration right now. It happened like 2 or 3 days ago. So if you want to hop in and just get to pre-register and get ready for this, I think it's going to be pretty fun because it's going to have all of the cookies that's from the other games available to them that they're going to basically be able to use and run around. And I'm definitely going to like this. I know Cookie Run is like kidsy and stuff like that, but they do actually end up having good gameplay in these games. So I'm actually looking forward to this tower adventure if it can actually be a really good RPG type of affair. So next up over on the mobile side is a Silver Wings Battle Hymn. This is RPG manager obviously, but it has a lot of gameplay modes in it, and a lot of people are actually talking about it right now. That Final Fantasy, geez, like bro, I'm gonna be back in you. I reinstalled and everything. You don't need to Google is doing this thing right now because I reinstalled this game. That's why I'm looking at this ad right now. Like I already got the game Final Fantasy. Calm down. So yeah, this is Silver Wings Battle Hymn. So just check it out if you wish and have some fun with that. Next up is Zombie Seed Survival. This is one of those waifu bait type of games where it has some gameplay in it where you're having some fun. I actually covered this when it was beta about 5-6 months ago. It's actually not that bad. It feels like a real typical action RPG shooter type of thing, but as you can see, they lean a little bit heavy into the waifus and stuff like that. So if it's something for you, check it out. Age of a Raft. This is interesting because this is kind of like a city builder slash idle slash, exploring slash RPG where you like, basically run around and like city building and I actually tabbed too fast. See the last tab. You actually get to have a little bit of RPG going on to it as well. This is not anything crazy. Obviously, character's gonna have one attack and one special, but something to mess around with in the future. You see, it doesn't have any downloads right now because it's not exactly available global yet. This is kind of like SEA, and if you SEA VPN it, you can probably hop in and play and stuff like that. But it's not officially global yet. But we're putting it up here so you guys can see. Asher God's Redemption. This is basically going to pre-register right now. It's one of those army-based type of cinematic affairs, and you see it card-based, and you have choices that you can actually do things, and hopefully you don't end up kind of screwed over. I wanted to put this back up here again. We had it a previous week as well, but getting people into it because it's supposed to be something really good. Vampire Legacy City Builder. That's a lot of words that go along with that. It's going to be one of those roguelike slash city builders slash, I guess a little bit husbando type as well. So, interesting. You see it already has 10K on the downloads right now. And that score is not that bad. So people might be liking it. American Survival. This is interesting because this is Power World. This game literally is just like Power World. I played it and I was like, it's not really for me or the channel. You see, it has 100K downloads so far. It's mad popular right now because it's basically mobile Power World. Literally, they cloned the game and said, you know what, Power World a clone, we're gonna clone that, and it's not bad. It's actually not bad if you want to. But I got Power World, so for me, having Power World, I'm like, why would I do this? So there you go. Next up is Metaverse Keeper. You guys can see right here. This one is also going to be pretty good. This is up on Steam right now, I believe for like $5 right now. It's a co-op shooter type of game. People are having a lot of fun with it. I was actually watching it on Twitch earlier in the week, and I didn't actually know that they were having a mobile version until I started getting HypeWatch together, and I saw this. I was like, oh, I just was watching this on Twitch. And I was watching people play, and they were having a lot of fun. I don't have it. I've never played it, but it's cool that it's going to be coming out mobile. And I just figured I would let you guys know because it's actually a really good game. So if you're interested in something like co-op shooter, you can play with friends, or if you like waifu or husbando or something like that, y'all get together and tag team, start beating down on stuff. This is a good couples game right here. Next up is Draconia Saga. You can SEA play this right now, but global is not here just as of yet. But obviously, this is the RPG Manager. They have a little bit of depth behind it. It feels a lot like Neverland, that particular game. So if you're looking for something extra to play that might have a little bit of replay value on it, this could be something for you. Pets War Animal Hero Saga, another long name. Another one of those survival-based, team-based type of games, cutesy and stuff like that. But people are kind of tending to go after these games because they are cost-efficient for gamers and cost-efficient for devs. So which is one of the reasons why they're so prevalent, why they come out every week. So this is another one for you guys to hop into. Again, this is not global as of yet, but it will be shortly. Royal Pirates Idol. I'm like I got to test it a little bit. Like I wanted to like it a little bit. Not that there's anything type of bad. Obviously, it's an idle game, city builder, and stuff like that. With a little bit on the RPG side again, like the previous game that we showed as well, and even ship battle as well. For some reason, the pirate games don't do well mobile. That's why I'm hesitating, because it'd be cool. Like, we had 3 pirate games this year mobile that were really, really cool, in depth. Like you can like travel and do things, and they were fun. They were real like RPGs, but they all failed. Like every single one. Like they were really good games. So I just think that maybe the public's tired of pirate games or something. I don't really have it. Or maybe it's because the economy is bad, which we're going to talk about at the end. I don't know, man. Next up is Cassette Beast. I hope this doesn't fail because this is basically Pokemon. But you can mix and match stuff and kind of like make like your own Pokemon or your own Cassette Beast. This game looked like it had a lot of potential, and it's probably gonna get Nintendo pissed off, and they're gonna probably try to shut it down. But right here, the pre-register is up for this one right now. It seems like this is gonna be like great. I hope Nintendo leaves them alone. Silk Road, as you guys can see right here, chilling. Silk Road is back, and we talked about this previously, and it's getting a lot of hype. A lot of people are actually talking about this. Like you see, like bro, like they going in on this. Like they really trying to bring Silk Road like all the way back, and it's the same Silk Road too, with a little bit better graphics, the same sounds, the same fights, the same classes. Like bro, like that was like 15 years ago, God. Jeez, man, but they doing it. Next up, Wuthering Waves. Obviously, is going to be coming out in about 5-6 days now. Why the hype on this? In fact, last weekend, or was it the weekend last? One of the weekends ago, they had this up at Times Square where they showed all the trailers back to back, and like it was like a spectacle because everybody kind of like stopped, and I was like somewhere else. And it was like, hey, you know, they're showing a game, like, you don't you cover this type of stuff? So we went to actually go look at it, and it was actually kind of cool. It was cool. It was cool that there were a lot of people actually who stopped and looked at this too. This is why I always say promoting your game as a gacha is very important, because it was literally like hundreds of people looking at that, you know, and all them people aren't gacha fans. Obviously, it's just people just looking at that in New York, but still, that like it's promotion, and one of the busiest cities in the world, and like cars going by and everything else, like, and you know, and again, we were in some completely different part of the town, and like, hey, they were talking about, hey, look, like, go check this out, and we went across, and it was kind of like a really fun event, and that type of stuff that lingers in your mind. So you'd say, okay, well, when is this game coming out? Then you go to the site, you see Google Play, App Store, Epic Game Store, and I actually got a story about this, that something happened because of what I said last week about how Kuro treated me, and another company saw HypeWatch and it was like, all right, well, since they treated you like that, we'll treat you better than that. Now, I'm not gonna say which because I don't want drama between companies, but another company did see how Kuro treated me, didn't like it. And it's a major company that didn't like it. That's probably too much of a hint. But they didn't like it and reached out. And I actually said something about it on Twitter and on Discord. So if you go back in my history, you'll literally find out who didn't like it. And but you know, that's why I said, you know, companies gotta be careful how they treat people, because it's a major competitor that was like, oh, y'all acting like that now. And it was really interesting. Well, that's the story, but yeah. So next up, before the last thing, we're gonna talk about this real quick, is what happened with Square. Now, some people, like, I give you guys hints on industry stuff. Like, I don't give you direct, like, I can't tell you direct stuff because it's kind of like NDA. I'm supposed to be press, so I'm not supposed to be leaking stuff. And eventually this stuff comes out later on, and then I was like, yeah, I told y'all like this like months ago. Now, I remember I was getting on Square about certain things and about how they run their mobile and everything else. So Square officially announced they lost a lot of money. And if you look at this third line right here, well, let's read the whole thing. Square Enix games that released between 2020 to 2024 equal 47 games. First of all, in 4 years, 47 games is too much. That's too many games. And I'm like, God, dog, like, that's almost a game a month. One more game in that, it would have been a game a month. Like, that is insane. You guys don't understand how insane that is. That's part of the reason why they lost money. That's too many games in that amount of time. They was wilding. 9 Nintendo exclusives, 6 PlayStation exclusives, and 32 multi-platform. The profit drop because of the lower MMO mobile revenue. They're trying to blame it all on that, but that's really not that fair. Granted, mobile was ass, and I was telling y'all guys that from the get-go that there was something wrong. I've been complaining the entire time about mobile, about how mobile was running. They needed to just get rid of the entire mobile team because they suck. It's just like, what, I don't care. At the end of the day, like, me personally, I'm like a Square creator. Your mobile division is ass. That's why your mobile revenue is down. And whoever you got, it's got to be somebody's son or family member, or got to be something that allows them to do that. It's the same thing with Bandai. Like, how do you fail for that many years? And they're talking about like a quarter of 2024. Y'all been sucking for a decade. Y'all. Like, it ain't no just from 2020 to 2024. You sucked for a decade. like no. Like, don't just magically it's a problem now. Maybe whoever's in charge magically paid attention now and realized that mobile was ass. But I've been saying it to you guys the whole time. So what's been going on, and my problem, my fight with them over this, and I've been telling them directly that there's a problem and that you need to do something about it. You need to hire better people or something like that. Officially, the word's out now, which I feel vindicated because people thought I was just making this up this entire time. Like, no, I've been arguing with Square for like years about how bad this was and like how is it still going this so far like this, and finally, media and press and stockholders are like, what the hell now? When I've been saying it for years. I feel weird about this whole situation now because it's like, dog, like, I've been saying this for a while. I've been making a fuss. I've been fighting with them about it in Discords and videos and in meetings and everything else. And then this comes out and it's like, and then I would have people, if you guys remember, I would have people who defended them saying that, oh no, they're doing fine. And I'm, what the hell are you talking about doing fine? Like, I used to have people in my comment section like, no, this is not going on. That's why I feel very vindicated by this right now. There's certain things I could not say because I have, obviously, being a gamer, a press gamer, basically, I have access to things that you guys don't have access to. So I had information that you didn't have access to, which is the reason why I was saying the things I was saying. It's just I couldn't say this direct person right here is. And now it's just all out there for everybody now at this point right now. So I don't even have to really worry about that. Like, everybody knows now that what I was saying was right the entire damn time. But I'm gonna point out something real quick before we get to like what the hype of the week is. Remake, Final Fantasy Remake 7, collections of a saga, Bravery Default, Babylon's Fall, Triangle Strategy, Chocobo GP, Harvestella, Dragon Quest Treasures, Forspoken, Paranormal Sight, Final Fantasy 16, Kasuga Dachi, DQ Monster, Foam Star, and Rebirth. Alright, so here's the problem with this. I'm gonna point out a few games, and on top of that, the gaming industry itself is up in money, but that doesn't mean everybody's up in money. Like, certain companies are making money and certain companies are not. The problem with Square was they released too many games, and then certain games they released they just shouldn't have. Like the Saga collection, there's plenty of people who are Saga fans, but that just is not gonna sell because it's an older game. It was niche back in the day, so it's just not gonna be niche now. Like, I don't know what they were expecting out of all that. Bravery Default did okay, but that's also a niche game. Babylon Fall was a complete nightmare. That game should never came out, and it was trash. Triangle Strategy deserves better because it's a good game, but it just didn't do well financially. Chocobo GP should have never came out. That was a niche game too. Should have never came out at all. Harvestella is a great game. It's a wonderful game. It just didn't sell. Like, it's unfortunate. Dragon Quest Treasures should have never came out because Dragon Quest itself is a very niche franchise again, it's never going to be Final Fantasy. It's popular. It's if anything, that's weird. It's as popular as Final Fantasy, but it doesn't sell as well as Final Fantasy. So I don't anything Dragon Quest. I'm like, y'all just might as well just assume you're going to break even anyway with Dragon Quest because they just never sell well. First, Forspoken just was a nightmare too. Forspoken is a good game with a badly designed protagonist. Not on the show I said people gonna fuck you don't like black people, and I'm like, no, it's not like that. The protagonist was fine as she is. She was written badly. She was like foul mouth, cursing, and had a bad attitude. You didn't want to root for her. You didn't want her to do anything. You didn't even want her to talk. You just want her to just shut up and go fight, basically. And that was the problem. They tried to make her too much of the angsty black woman when, if you guys haven't noticed, worldwide right now, people don't like that. People don't like the bitchy black woman. Like, they just don't like that. Like, the world doesn't like that. Like, black men don't like that. Like, and it's not to have a hit towards black women or anything else like that. It's just not liked. It's not going to sell well at the end of the day. Like, and I'm like, I married a black woman. I have children by black women, so don't think that I hate black women, but I know that, worldwide, that's just not something that people like. They don't like that type of stuff. Like, it was cute back in the day. It's not cute now. And that's what that game was going for. It was going for the black girl power, and it failed miserably because the world doesn't like that. It is what it is. The world hardly likes black people, so you think they're gonna like that? Like, so that's what happened with Forspoken. It's nothing else other than that. Paranormal Sight. Now, see, because me as a black guy, I don't feel that I'm okay to say that or anything else like this, but it's unfair because white reviewers couldn't say that because then they would be viewed as racist. But that is exactly why Forsaken failed, is because they tried to do that and like just not understand that that's not something that's going to fly in this current day and age. Maybe 10 years ago it might have, but not now. Paranormal Sight was just a bad game. Final Fantasy 16 arguably was a very good game, but it was very action based, so people who like their turn based got their panties in a bunch and got upset about that type of stuff. And there's nothing you can really do about that. They like their turn based, and Final Fantasy 16 was basically like Devil May Cry Final Fantasy at the end of the day. That's what it was. It was awesome, but it's not gonna fit for everybody. Kasugo Danchi, it's one of those games where like it's another one of those like, why, yo? And again, like I said with Dragon Quest is just not gonna sell well. Foam Stars was like the breakout shock that it absolutely ripped off the other game. I can't even remember the name. It is a complete rip off, but it's actually doing well. So I really don't have much to say about that. That was a good shock for them. And Rebirth did okay, but not as much as they thought it was gonna actually do. And I think Rebirth got the sophomore curse, basically, because Remake did so well, so they expected that Rebirth was going to go ham. But essentially, even though it's a better game and an awesome game and probably a legendary game and probably game of the year, it's still going to get the sophomore curse that is still basically Final Fantasy again with better stuff. And that's how the industry works. Even if a game is super good, the sophomore curse is actually a thing. So with that said, Square, because I know you're gonna watch, just like in this post right here, just like people have been telling you, you need a complete overhaul of how you handle mobile. 100%. The amount of money that they put into all their mobile games, because they're all expensive IPs like the Final Fantasy, the Brave Exvius, the Ever Crisis, the Near Reincarnation that just recently got canceled, the War of Visions, and all the other countless Square games that just don't even no longer exist now, Final Fantasy, etc., and everything else. You gotta, whoever you have running it, that has to go. all of it. And I know, and somebody even got upset with me because I said this, but it's 100% true. Square is an Eastern company, and they do not like listening to the West. If you want any shot at this not happening again, every niche game, which is going to be, people are not going to like to hear this, those niche games, you have to put the expectations lower on them or just not release them. It's just over for them. At the end of the day, they're not going to be million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million type of games in this economy right now. Maybe in 10 years when the economy's better, everybody's making money, that will be the case, but that's not going to be the case right now. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get Dragon Quest monsters making millions. It's not right now. That's not going to happen. And they actually said that they're going to be more focused on mainline stuff. They agree, basically, but they didn't say anything about mobile. Any of that. Didn't say anything about mobile. So I'm going to say it directly to them. Whoever you had running this, they got to go. That's too much failure, too many times. And I feel really bad when I call for people to be fired. I'll just reassign them and put them somewhere else. Get people with actual college degrees, not somebody that you got from a hiring site. That exists in Japan. You have people who like, Japan is a very smart country. You have I would even get students at this point. They would do a better job than whatever you have going on right now because it ain't working. Now, Ever Crisis, I volunteer to fix Ever Crisis. Hire me for Ever Crisis because I'll turn that into a 10 million a month game. It's not hard with Ever Crisis. There's a reason why Ever Crisis is barely making $1 million, and that's because of the way that it's balanced. That's because of the way that the updates and everything else, and so it's just pacing. Whoever's running Ever Crisis doesn't understand what pacing means, and it's burning people out, and they don't have time to actually build things properly. The game isn't lending itself towards that type of stuff, and the game is just basically Tifa is basically carrying Ever Crisis at this point. Whenever she shows up, that's when you make money. And that's gonna wear thin because everybody's gonna have the Tifa stuff they want, even if you make new stuff, which you very obviously be trying to do, because she done had 5 skins now. Tifa can't carry a mobile game like that. You literally have to start doing it properly. So there needs to be somebody to actually do that properly. So hopefully with it all out in the open, and you see industry-wise, everybody knows industry-wise now that your mobile division is ass, you hire somebody to do it properly now. Now, just a hint. Last but certainly not least, the Steel Hunters. We're not going to talk much longer on this. This is probably going to be hype. Everybody can get into this right now. 100%. If you click this button right here, you have a chance. And it's almost like an instant invite at this point. Your boy's in. You're gonna see your boy in there. You want to come holler and come play with me. This is gonna be fun. That's all I can really say. At the end of the day, this is the hype of the week, and I definitely want to see everybody in this and actually playing this who has a PC. And let's have some fun and battle it out. That's all I really got for you guys this week. That's pretty much everything. And like I said, with the whole Wuthering Waves, I'm going to be playing, and like I said, playing with people, and there's going to be content for on the channel. Nothing sponsored, nothing actually content creator or anything else like this. I wasn't even invited to that, to be honest. And again, side story, another company saw how Kiro treated me, and they're like, what the hell? Like, what? And I was like, I don't know, dog. I even said something to them, and they're like, all right, you know what? Don't worry about it. We got you. That's literally what happened. Major company, big company. They didn't have to do that. They don't have to do it. But I appreciate it. Them being that kind and being offended for me. basically at the end of the day. So like I appreciate it. No, I'm rocking with them. We just gonna go from there, and like I said, I'm gonna play with friends because I got a lot of friends who are gonna be playing it, and because essentially what's gonna happen was I was not going to play it, but my friends were like, nah, you're gonna play with us. Like we want to see the content, we want to see you actually playing it in the game. So I'm like, all right, fine, and that's just the way it's gonna roll. So yeah. Catch you guys next video. Hopefully this was enjoyable, and hopefully you got a game or found a game here that you will like. That's the whole point of HypeWatch, and basically to talk to me, to talk to you guys candidly, where I get more time to actually do that and have a little bit of fun, tell you my feelings, and be a bit raw about things, industry wise. Let industry people see my reaction, because that's a lot of what HypeWatch is too, to let industry know what's going on, from me to as a fan to a creator, as a press person, everything else. And then in the comment section, you guys let them know as well. That helps as well when see something hype, and we just take it from there. So see you guys soon. Peace, and catch you later.